Welcome to the Air Moon Eris channel. Tonight we have 3 piles for you to choose from. Group 1, we have Unfriendly. Group 2, we have Careless. And Group 3, we have Disciplined. Now the theme for tonight's reading is actually what snap judgments people are making about you. So if you can take a moment to see which pile you may resonate the most with or feel the most drawn to. You don't have to do it based off the word. You can see like which group, like in numbers, seems to resonate for you, whether it's like 1, 2 or 3 or something like that. However it is that you do it, use the timestamps in the description box to jump ahead to your reading. Thanks. Okay, welcome Group 1. If you chose Unfriendly, then this is your reading on what snap judgments people are making about you. So on the left hand side here, we have some cards that are closer to the reality of who you are. And on the right hand side here, we have like some of those snap judgments. So just for those of you that are like watching, now it looks like your life has taken you in a direction where you've needed to take much better care of yourself. Like you've had to really prioritize self-care. And in that same token, it maybe has gone hand in hand with doing like a lot of work on yourself. And the truth of the situation, actually feel like this group of people in Group 1 are probably quite clear on the truth of their situation and how they feel, and I don't feel like there is any real muddled thoughts here for you in this moment for this reading. So it looks like, I don't know, if it's not that, maybe this group is like good communicators or something like that, okay? And hard workers. Whatever it is you do, it's like you're showing up every day and you're putting your best foot forward, or you're like putting the effort in consistently over a period of time, and you're making notable strides. Now, the message or the tag for like the snap judgment that we had was Unfriendly. And I wonder with this person if it's just it seems to be one specific person, although it could be more. I'm not sure what your situation is with them, like any encounters that you've had. It seems that they feel like you are unsure about them, like you're trying to make up your mind about whether you engage with them, how you feel about them. You might be quite standoffish. You might be like keeping some distance in between you, or keeping them at an arm's length, or you could be preoccupied with more stressful or heavy hitting decisions, or just trying to like juggle the struggles in life. something like that. Maybe just trying to find your own balance and make decisions where you've got to go where you're not really concerned with them. But I guess that's what they're kind of picking up on, is that like lack of concern for them. And or this is the snap judgment that they're making. Okay, so keep in mind, a snap judgment, it's just like, you don't really have to know a person very well. You don't have to know their situation. You don't have to you don't have to have met them more than once to be able to make a snap judgment of what a person is like and who they are, to roughly categorize them or place them in your mind in some way. So there's also something here about like collaborating with people, but I think this person, the snap judgment that they're making, that's going in hand with like, I don't know, I think it's like they see you struggling to juggle things in life and make hard decisions, but they're also, it's almost like they have this internal wound within themselves, and they're kind of projecting that wound out onto people around them. So it's like, because they don't feel loved or they don't feel worthy of like a friendship with you or something like that, and then they see maybe an awkward moment or a bit of being standoffish, and they kind of project that maybe you don't think that they're worthy or something like that. It's a bit of a bizarre one, but this is, I feel like most of this is probably pretty like subconscious, or like this, it's not, I don't feel like this is a snap judgment this person's aware that they've even made. It's just like a momentary thing, and it's just happened, and that's just where they're at. So like, I think they see you working with other people and just not them. And then on the other hand, I think there's like a level of judgment of like, maybe you're just more of a networker and you're not really there for like solid relationships or something like that. When what I actually, like the feeling that I get about you is that you're probably more, what's the word, like you're more inclined to make long-lasting, close and meaningful relationships that are like really well balanced and like fulfilling, and there's lots of give and take and they're supportive and everything, where, you know, it's a win-win for everybody, but there's like a lot of depth to them, I think, is what I'm trying to say. So that's probably more the reality of you. It's just that when you're like that, you're not going to go and give your cup out to everyone, are you? You're going to, you know, maybe be a little bit more restricted with what you give out or what you give away, and wait to get to know people a bit better before you go giving it up. So yeah. Okay, do we have anything else here? It just really seems like they're mistaking some sort of like being busy or being standoffish, or seeing you get along really well with other people and maybe not them. It makes me wonder if this person is not used to not just like making almost instantaneous friends everywhere they go or something like that, because it seems less of about something that you've done and more about how they feel about something inconspicuously happening in front of them. I don't know if that makes sense. Okay, anyway, do we want to take a card? We want to take one more. Okay, we got a few there, but we're going to take them all. Okay, so this person could be having money problems. They could be a little bit obsessive or have some unhealthy tendencies in their relationships. They could be either one of two things, like a little bit judgmental about some sort of personal beliefs or spiritual beliefs or something like that. Or if it's not that, it's almost like the amount of light that you carry, it's like they don't like it. I don't know what, it's almost like you shine a light on it or something like that by accident, like you don't even mean to do it. Like, I wonder if you almost are a mirror for this person or something. I'm not really sure. That would only be for like a small group of people in this group one. They're just saying dust it off. I wonder if this person has like a bad reputation, or they're trying to say that you have a bad reputation or something, but they're also, it's like they're watching you quite regularly. Definitely, we've got obsessed here twice as well. Yeah. I think this person's just, do you know what it seems like? They're paying like far too much attention to what you're doing and not enough of like what they're doing. Yeah. I don't get any like really bad feelings about it, but I would definitely just be mindful of like who's paying a lot of attention to what you do and say, and I don't know, and just keep an eye on it. But I don't think anything like too bad would be happening, although you know, you should never dismiss your own discernment or your own better judgment or instincts or intuition. Okay, group one, this is actually a really short one tonight, so hopefully this was insightful in some way into like a snap judgment that someone may have made about you. It may be confirmation for you, or it may explain a little bit more about it than, you know, as to like how they come to the conclusion that they did, and may act as some sort of confirmation. So like, comment, subscribe, all the good stuff, and I'll see you all in another reading. Okay, welcome group 2 to tonight's reading, which is snap judgments that people are making about you. So if you chose the Careless tag, then this is your group. And as I started pulling the High Priestess card, I was hearing something about like you're too careless with your spiritual practices. So I wonder if this is like the beginning of the snap judgment that a person has made about you. It could be a message from spirit, but we'll wait and see. We'll clear it up. That first message about like being careless with spiritual practices, it feels like there's two groups here. So with the first group, it is actually a case of spirits just letting you know that you're being too careless with it, and the second group, it's actually part of the judgment. So hopefully we can kind of get two timelines here of different stories, or clear it up some way. Okay, so starting off, so this first line here is actually closer to who you are as a person, and or your situation or something like that. And this bottom row here is actually like closer to the snap judgment that's been made. I might just make a bit of room here so that we can better see these cards. So starting off, like this group seems to be like they have good intuition, or they know something that other people around them don't know, or maybe there's like some sort of like hidden wisdom or something that's not readily apparent about you. You might, yeah, I'm getting something about like fruits of wisdom or nuggets of wisdom that you have to offer, but they're just not readily apparent or readily available or on offer or something like that. It's more like a person would need to get to know you at a deeper level to see more of what it is that you actually have, like to uncover that as they get to know you or something. Okay. Now also, you could be like a really lovely, like bubbly person, or you could just be a person that would share like a deep, intimate bond in like your relationships. And there's also a part that may be like, I am getting a strong intuition already as it is, but there could also be a part of you that has like a strong I'm getting like subconscious patterns, and if it's not subconscious patterns, there's also like strong like emotional undercurrents. Like the two probably go together, like hand in hand or intertwined or something. Yeah. And I feel like you may have a harder time finding the path in the middle, like what's the balanced path of everything that you... I almost get that this group is so sensitive that you're like taking things in from the environment and the people around you and the energies of everything, that there's so much coming in that it's really hard to get a handle on, and it's hard to separate the two, like what's yours, what's someone else's, and it's hard to separate like emotions from reality and actually just like follow the path forward to get to where you're going. Yeah. And then it's almost like this group may also have more clarity and insight of a daytime and maybe struggle more of a nighttime. Like there may be something here where whether you're more deeply affected by lunar phases, or you could actually just be a person that has more alone, quiet time or something like that of a night time, and it's like that's when everything's coming up for processing, or that's when you're allowed to feel, you know, the depth of your emotions. Maybe it's like more comfortable, or there's just less distractions. You're not like busy from the day. Yeah. Okay, anything else? No. All right. So now off to the snap judgment. So we had Careless, and so it's like the first thing that this person is sort of like the judgment that they're formulating is that you're making like really heavy hitting decisions from a really careless place, where it's like that. I wonder if they think, oh, not I wonder, it almost appears as if they think you're being really unjust, or you're making really unfounded decisions, like they don't make sense and they don't understand where it would come from, and it maybe almost seems like you're more here for like a power trip than an actual you know, fair, just, like, I guess balanced situation. I think they see you as like really defensive, and there's something here about like not really taking proper care of a marriage. And it was the way it was kind of said was, it might not be literally a marriage, it might just be any relationship. It's like a relationship, a foundational relationship, or a celebration, like a foundational celebration or something like that. And it's something about comparing unequivocal love with like just taking things too lightly, like not really honoring things to the extent that they should be honored, like being frivolous in comparison to equivocal. I'm not even sure where this is going. Give me a moment. I think this is the sector in which they think you're being the most careless, is like around your long-term relationships that you're meant to honor. Okay, so unfair, unjust calls and decisions, being really defensive, but like not honoring the long-term relationships that you have in your life. And almost to a degree, I think they see you taking care of yourself, but they're making like it, or it almost makes me think this person may come from like a lack mindset, or a place of like mindset within themselves or something, because they're looking at you trying to embody or embrace yourself or fill your cup in some way, and they're just seeing it almost as if it was like a selfish or self-righteous act or something like that. But because this person doesn't do that for themselves, there's that snap judgment that like you're selfish and you're like not taking care of the people around you. And I don't know where they get this like unjust kind of careless decision making from, because it kind of seems the opposite. It kind of seems like you're quite serious about everything that you do and you try to act with integrity. Even when your emotions really get the better of you, I still feel like, even though you might get carried away with them at times, that you still try to really rein it in, and you still try to walk that path in the middle. You still try to, even though it's hard, it's like a lot of discernment's involved, but it's like you still try to stay on track. I mean, like, look, there could be some people in this group where, like, maybe they've seen you make a couple of, like, tough calls in a, you know, in a hard emotional time, and maybe it wasn't your best, you know, judgment call, and maybe you came off as careless, or maybe it was actually like a careless decision that you made. I'm not really sure, and I'm not here to judge that either. But that's this, yeah, the snap judgment that they're making is that there's a lot of like carelessness in the choices that are being made. I wonder if some of you walked away from some sort of relationship to go fill your own cup, and there's a level of them, you know, making a snap judgment about it being careless. I'm not sure. Or it could be the opposite, like they've seen you get into a relationship and sort of labeled some sort of like careless snap judgment on it as well. It's hard to say. This is really weird. I was just getting something about like thou shall not cross, and I don't know if this person is trying to say that you're trying to keep them out, because they do almost see you in a defensive energy where you might be, you know, just really protective of yourself and or like your close loved ones around you, and it can probably, I think it comes off to them as though you're just trying to keep them out, which is, it's really weird though, because I mean that doesn't seem careless at all. It's almost like the opposite, like they see you so uptight about things that it like causes you to make careless decisions or something like that. It's almost like they see it as being like unnecessary or overbearing or something, or they think that even being that way in the first place is careless. But it's just weird because this person feels too far, like, I don't know, they may not be too far in, you know, degrees of separation from you, but it could just be that they don't really understand your situation. I feel like you're probably a person that takes in a lot from the people around you, and this person seems to be kind of missing the point of who you are or something about your journey. And it's like things that are like really essential to who you are as a person and what you're experiencing at the moment. So yeah, it almost seems like a level of like projection in some way, but whatever that is. I do want to mention as well that these snap judgments are things that I'm pretty sure everybody does it to a degree. Maybe not to this degree where we necessarily meet a person and think they're careless. Although this person, I want to say, this person feels like they know you. Like maybe, I don't know how well, but they might be like in a circle of friends, or you might see them often enough. I'm not sure. It's like they know enough about your life to like place judgments on it, but I just don't know how close you are in contact. Yeah. Is there anything else? I'm just going to try one more thing. For some of you, I wonder if this person is like younger or just has a little bit less life experience, but that's, it might not be. So anyway, okay, group 2, that's everything that I had for the snap judgment that's been made. This seems like it's only one person. And yeah, hopefully, I don't know, if this was like a person that you already had in mind, hopefully there's confirmation on some of the topics that have come up, or hopefully it provides some sort of like insight. I just think that they're not really good at like reading the situation or you as a person. It's like, I think this person is almost too concerned with like superficial or surface level things. It's like they don't really, they're not seeing, they don't have that connection to that like deeper inner part of themselves that this group seems to have. But then it's bizarre because I feel like this group's such like lovely, good communicators and like pretty happy as well. And I wonder if like there's a contrast here or a duality or something that they don't understand, where it almost looks multifaceted. They're like, but how can you be both? And this doesn't make sense, so it must mean this. And that doesn't look like what I would do, even though I don't understand the whole situation. But they don't realize they don't understand the whole situation. They're just like not taking that into account at all. So this must mean this, but I would do that if it was me. Or this is really bizarre. I feel like we were meant to be wrapping this up, but I'm getting more. It's like they may see this like strong emotional undercurrent and they might almost give it like too much weight in your life. So it might be the one part. I feel like they don't really see this high priestess part of you. They see like the fun, bubbly, communicative, social side of you, and they know that there's this like emotional undercurrent happening here as well. And I feel like it's less obvious. It's like it's not like it's less obvious, it's like they don't really understand it. They see it as like a driving force for decisions being made, but they don't understand the way it's working and how and why and what the experience would actually be like if they had to digest it themselves or something like that. I'm not sure. Yeah. Anyway, is there anything else here? I'm just getting the word immiscible, like something is immiscible. I think you're probably just like hard for this person to put their finger on, and so they're kind of left with nowhere to go but kind of try to make snap judgments because they've got nothing else. Like, unless they're going to go to a greater effort to get to know you, or to like be more open-minded, or just try to look past like the surface stuff, then they're probably not going to see that about you. So they're kind of missing out in that regard. And it's funny because they're saying that like the snap judgment they had about you was that you were careless, but it's almost like that's the energy that they're approaching this with or from. So it's kind of ironic. Anyway, that's everything that I have for you tonight, group 2. Hopefully this was insightful or helpful in some way, and I'll see you all in another reading. Okay, welcome group 3. If you chose the disciplined tag, then this is your reading for tonight. Just when I first started pulling, like shuffling cards, I started getting, I think it's a Tupac song, Thug's Mansion. I think there's other people in it as well. I can't remember. I'll write the name of the version that I was like hearing and under the timestamp in the description box, so that if any of you feel inclined to go listen to it or like look up the lyrics, there might be something there for you. But, you know, the tag here is disciplined, but I think what this person's almost seeing, or the way it was coming across, was they might see you as like a bit of a square, or a straight edge person, or a person that like maybe it hasn't got a lot of like life experience or street smarts or something like that. And what they don't realize is that this discipline has kind of come from like a lot of like really varied, intense life experiences. And I feel like some of you have, I don't know, just take this like whatever applies to your situation. Don't try to make anything fit that doesn't. Some of you have had to like make hard decisions and leaving people in the dust, like leaving people behind because of the way that those people chose to engage with you and live their lives and the choices that they made. It was like you actually had to be really, you had to make the tough call. You had to be the bigger person and kind of put an end to something there. And it's weird because for some of you, it's like the discipline is like almost leaving people behind with a level of like perfection, like you've done it before. So it kind of comes off callous. I don't know, maybe for some of you it sort of was, I'm not sure. And then I think for others of you, for the majority of you, I think this person just sees you as so disciplined that like you're less concerned with others' wants and needs because you're just so disciplined. It's like being disciplined to a fault without regard. It's like being really objective, like, well, this is what I have to do, so I'm going to do it because that's what I've always done, and this is what I'm disciplined in, and that's my goal, or something like that. Anyway, and you probably know that it gets the better of you at different times, and sometimes you forget, and it takes you a while to kind of remember and to like reorient yourself, because it's like a habit that you can get stuck in. It's almost like for some of you it may be an addiction. Like being disciplined, you may feel like is an unnecessary evil or an addictive, like it's like, what is it, like a maladaptive behavior where it's like you had to exercise discipline to prevent some sort of addiction, but like the discipline on its own ended up becoming the addiction or some sort of self-perpetuating cycle like that. It might not be the case, but it also very well could be. Different things for different people. Some of you might just feel stuck in, you know, the life experiences that you've had. Some of you, I feel like, have had to do things that didn't really sit well with you, or like that's what you felt you had to do at the time, or that you didn't. I don't know. I actually wonder if for some of you it's not like you thought you had to do it, you didn't know any better, and then you've gone through like a transformative process where you've realized that's not how you're going to move forward, and you've really roped yourself in with this discipline, but it's to a point where it's almost like debilitating level of discipline as well. So yeah, look, I'm sort of struggling to see here what is the snap judgment and what is more closer to your situation. So we'll move on and see if I can get more of a feel for it as we go. I think, sorry, is that the... No, it's like that's really what you've maybe experienced, or like that's closer to who you are or your situation or something like that. Okay, and then this bottom row is kind of like part of the snap judgment that this person has seen. So it's like this really happy, prosperous person who's kind of doing well, maybe you're healthy, something like that, or just have like good habits. And then they kind of see you as like an integrated, balanced person. So like, you know, everything in moderation, not too much of this, not too much of that. And, but there's like, I even though I'm looking at this right, because temperance is like, can be, what is it, representative of like Sagittarius, or I guess Sagittarius is like a Jupiter ruled planet, which is like expansion and even though I'm reading this as they see you as like really balanced and in moderation, I get like an underlying Saturnian feel to it, where there's actually like a great deal of restriction here, where it might almost be painful. So it's like the underneath might be that like level of restriction and self-discipline, and on the outside it just looks really effortless, but they don't see the work that goes on behind or underneath to achieve that. Anyway, so it's like they also see you as like pretty like clear-headed, pretty thorough, pretty firm in what you say, holding good boundaries, not letting people down, not letting people through or pass, not letting yourself be stepped on or something to that effect, not letting people cross you. For some of you, if you felt drawn to group 2, then may be a message in group 2 for you as well. Then there's also, I think they could see you as, I don't know, like holding on to things. I wonder if they see you as a person who doesn't spend very much money. It's almost like they see you like eating well, and they see you like living a life of moderation, having good boundaries, not spending too much money, and doing all the work. Yeah. I mean, I don't think this is like necessarily it's not like a negative connotation to being disciplined. It's just like a lack of understanding of what is underneath the discipline, or what the discipline like really looks like, or what it costs. It's like this person sees this like really great picture and they don't really understand how it came about. Something like that. So I feel like for this group we want to pull an archetype card, and I'm not sure if that's going to be for you or for them, so I'll quickly grab that. Okay, so we're going to pull one for you first. We want it to come out. I think we'll nearly be done after this. Okay. So you might be closer to a visionary, where you have like a big goal or dream in mind. And so that level of discipline is, you know, feeding, like that visionary goal or mindset is kind of what's feeding that disciplinary or discipline type lifestyle. And how this person, the snap judgment that they're making, so they see you as a person that either facilitates spiritual commitments, serves as a channel of spiritual energy, or violates the trust of your spiritual community, seduced by your own spiritual role. They see you as a priest. They see you as like a strongly spiritual person. And on the other hand, I think they could see you in a light of like having romantic charm and potential for power, or using the power for self-aggrandizement. It's the priest and prince. This person sees you in a very high light. I think they see you with like a high standing, great spiritual like knowledge or ability. Definitely something here with power. I think they see you as, they interpret you as like a powerful person to some degree. I think it's like the level of willpower, even though they don't know what goes on underneath it. You make it look so effortless, and it's like they're making snap judgments about other parts of your life, like it all looks really good, and they're not seeing what's behind the scenes. So they think really highly of you, which is great, but I think that they probably underestimate what you really do or go through on a daily basis. So yeah, I'm just going to try to see if there's anything else here before we wrap it up. Okay, group 3, that's everything that I have for you for tonight's reading on snap judgments that they've made about you being disciplined. Hopefully this was helpful in some way. If I just want to take a second to say that if that first group actually doesn't seem like it resonates for you, it could be a case where these energies are flipped here, where like you actually are this like light bubbly person and things aren't too serious, but this person is making like a snap judgment about you, having this like crazy level of discipline that's unnecessary. So like I said, don't try to make anything fit that doesn't. Just only take what resonates and leave the rest. Okay, yeah, so hopefully this like provided some more insight or acted as like a confirmation for whatever your situation is. It was helpful in some way, and I'll see you all in another reading. Thanks.